Greenland, the world's largest island, sits at a crossroads between Europe, North America, and the Arctic Ocean. Its vast, icy expanse stretches across the top of the world, making it a unique meeting point for continents and cultures. Once seen as remote and inhospitable, its strategic value is now undeniable, drawing the attention of world powers and global industries alike. During the Cold War, it was a key military outpost, a silent guardian in the high north, hosting radar stations and air bases that watched over the polar skies. Today, as climate change accelerates, melting ice is opening new shipping routes, making Greenland the gateway to the Arctic and transforming its role on the world stage. These passages could revolutionize global trade, slashing travel times between continents and offering new opportunities for commerce and cooperation. Control over these routes is a major geopolitical prize, sparking competition among nations eager to secure their interests in the Arctic. Any nation with a strong presence in Greenland gains influence over the future of Arctic trade and security, shaping the balance of power in this rapidly changing region. With fewer than 60,000 residents, most living along the coast, Greenland's small population belies its global significance. The daily lives of its people are now intertwined with international interests. As a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark, Greenland manages its own resources, fueling hopes for full independence and greater self-determination. Its mineral wealth, including rare earth elements and precious metals, could be the key to breaking free from Danish subsidies and building a sustainable economy. Military strategists see Greenland as vital for monitoring Arctic activity, tracking both commercial and military movements across the polar region. Economists eye its untapped resources as a solution to future supply chain issues, especially as global demand for minerals and energy continues to rise. Politicians recognize its potential for projecting power, using Greenland as a platform for international diplomacy and negotiation. Greenland is no longer a distant outpost, it's a central piece on the global chessboard, where decisions made today will shape tomorrow's world. The world is waking up to its pivotal role as headlines and news reports increasingly focus on Greenland's emerging influence. The stakes are high. Whoever shapes Greenland's future will help define the next era of Arctic politics and economics, impacting generations to come. The island's transformation from isolated landmass to international hotspot is underway, with new infrastructure and investment reshaping its landscape. Greenland's choices will echo far beyond its icy shores, influencing global climate, security, and economic trends. The global conversation about its future is just beginning, as nations and organizations debate the best path forward. The world is watching, and the stakes have never been higher. Greenland's next steps will help shape the destiny of the Arctic and the world. Beneath Greenland's ice lies a treasure trove of critical minerals. Rare earth elements, vital for smartphones, electric vehicles, and military tech, are abundant here. Kvanefjeld in southern Greenland is believed to hold one of the world's largest rare earth deposits outside China. There's also uranium, zinc, iron ore, gold, and diamonds. Currently, China dominates global rare earth processing, creating a strategic vulnerability for the West. Greenland offers a stable, alternative source. Developing these resources could transform Greenland's economy, funding public services and creating jobs. Mining could pave the way for independence from Denmark, but extracting these riches comes with tough choices and risks. The minerals represent both opportunity and challenge. Greenland must weigh the promise of wealth against environmental and social costs. The world's eyes are on Greenland's next move. Greenland's vast mineral wealth has quietly ignited a fierce competition among three global giants: the United States, China, and Russia. Beneath its icy surface, Greenland holds resources that are critical for the technologies of tomorrow, making it a strategic prize in the Arctic. The U.S. views Greenland as essential for both national security and Arctic dominance. By reviving old military ties and strengthening its presence, America hopes to ensure a friendly government in Nuuk and keep adversaries at bay. China, eager to secure new sources of rare earths and minerals, offers major investments and infrastructure projects. Its vision is to weave Greenland into its ambitious Polar Silk Road, expanding its influence in the far north. Russia, with the longest Arctic coastline, is determined to control the northern sea route and expand its military footprint. Moscow sees the Arctic as a vital frontier for its future power and economic growth. Each power employs its own mix of tactics, diplomacy, investment, and strategic partnerships to tip the balance in its favor. The U.S. is determined to keep rivals out, maintain Western influence, and secure its interest for generations to come. China aims to become Greenland's economic partner of choice, promising prosperity and development in exchange for access and cooperation. Russia watches every move closely, wary of NATO's growing presence and determined not to lose ground in this strategic region. Greenland now finds itself at the very center of this new, great game, where every decision carries global consequences. The choices made by Greenland's leaders will shape the future balance of power in the Arctic for decades to come. The competition may be subtle, but the stakes are enormous: control over resources, shipping routes, and influence in a rapidly changing world. Greenland's future is being shaped not just by its own people, but by the ambitions of nations far beyond its shores. The island's choices will send ripples across the world, affecting economies, alliances, and the environment. The race for influence is on, and the outcome will define the Arctic's future. China's Arctic ambitions are clear in Greenland. Through its Polar Silk Road, China offers investment in airports, mines, and ports, promising economic growth. In 2018, a Chinese bid to manage Greenland's airports alarmed Denmark and the US, who blocked the deal. Critics warn of debt traps and strategic risks if Greenland becomes too reliant on Chinese capital. Despite setbacks, China continues to pursue mining and infrastructure projects. Greenlandic leaders debate: is China a partner or a threat? The answer will shape Greenland's future and its ties to the West. The lure of Chinese investment remains strong. The debate over China's role is far from settled. The U.S. has significantly ramped up its engagement with Greenland, taking decisive steps to counter China and Russia's growing ambitions in the Arctic. This renewed focus marks a strategic shift, as the U.S. recognizes Greenland's increasing geopolitical importance. Thule Air Base remains a cornerstone of American defense, serving as a vital outpost for monitoring the Arctic and projecting power in the region. In 2019, President Trump's offer to buy Greenland made global headlines, underscoring the depth of U.S. interest and sparking international debate about the island's future. Since then, the U.S. has reopened its consulate in Nuuk, re-establishing a diplomatic presence, and launched a series of economic aid programs to foster closer ties. American agencies are actively helping to map Greenland's vast mineral resources, aiming to secure critical minerals for Western supply chains and reduce reliance on rival powers. The U.S. offers technical expertise, training, and investment, positioning itself as a reliable and long-term partner for Greenland's development. This approach stands in contrast to China's more transactional offers, which often focus on short-term gains rather than lasting partnerships. The U.S. strategy is to build enduring political and economic ties, fostering trust and mutual benefit over time. Greenland's autonomy is respected, but American interests in the region are clear and increasingly assertive. The U.S. wants Greenland's development to align with Western values, supporting education, cultural exchange, and sustainable growth. Aid, diplomacy, and scientific collaboration are the primary tools of this new engagement, strengthening bonds at every level. The U.S. is clearly playing the long game in Greenland, investing in relationships and infrastructure for the future. The ultimate goal: keep the island firmly in the Western orbit as it unlocks its mineral wealth and economic potential. The stakes are both strategic and deeply personal for Greenland's future, as decisions made today will shape generations to come. Russia's Arctic ambitions are rooted in geography and history. With the world's longest Arctic coastline, Russia invests heavily in the northern sea route, building icebreakers and modernizing military bases. Its military buildup signals a determination to control Arctic trade and resources. Russia's direct involvement in Greenland is limited, but it watches U.S. and Chinese moves closely. Competing claims over the Arctic seabed, including those involving Greenland, could spark future disputes. Russia prefers a neutral Greenland, wary of NATO expansion. Instability or division in Greenland could serve Russian interests. Russia's presence ensures it will remain a key Arctic player. The Arctic is warming fast and Greenland's ice is melting at record rates. This environmental crisis is also revealing new economic opportunities. As ice recedes, mineral-rich land and offshore oil reserves become accessible. New shipping lanes extend the season for exports and imports. Mining and energy projects once impossible are now feasible. But the melting ice brings risks, unstable landscapes, floods, and engineering challenges. Infrastructure must withstand extreme shifting conditions. Climate change is both a catalyst and a threat. Greenland's economic future is tied to forces it can't control. The race to exploit new resources is on, but so are the dangers. The stakes for Greenland and the planet are enormous. Mining divides Greenlanders. Some see it as the path to independence and prosperity, replacing Danish subsidies and creating jobs. Others fear environmental destruction, loss of traditional livelihoods, and threats to Inuit identity. The 2021 election became a referendum on mining, with voters rejecting a major rare earth project over uranium concerns. The new government halted the project, signaling that Greenland's resources aren't for sale at any price. The debate continues. Economic growth or environmental protection? Greenland's small population faces a monumental choice. The decision will shape the nation's identity and future. The world is watching how Greenland balances progress and preservation. The mining question remains unresolved. Greenland's next steps will define its destiny. Mining in the Arctic carries immense environmental risks. Greenland's fragile ecosystem could suffer irreversible damage from accidents or pollution. Toxic waste and radioactive byproducts threaten water and wildlife. The slow pace of natural recovery means pollution could last for centuries. Mining could disrupt caribou, polar bears, and marine life, vital to Inuit culture and survival. Greenland must weigh economic gains against the duty to protect its natural heritage. Can modern mining be made safe enough for the Arctic? Can regulations hold powerful companies accountable? The choices made now will leave a lasting mark on one of the world's last great wildernesses. Greenland stands at a crossroads. Its decision will echo for generations.